the cost of us producing a product is zero, because I will work my ass off and you don't pay me any extra for me building another product for you guys. The cost of my studio where I filmed the product was $800, and we did $6 million in revenue off that first product we did. What are the mistakes that we saw in other companies that we've implemented in our company so we don't make those same mistakes?
Payroll's coming up, so I'll say paying people on time and the full amount.
Yes.
I've worked other jobs before where I was being paid 80% of what I was owed, and just kept stacking on, and eventually I left after I was owed a couple tens of thousands of dollars, just cut my losses. So that's one of the things that we learned.
I think looking at other companies and the mistakes that they made, I think they follow like this cookie cutter path of where it's like people think that it's like super easy to like build an online coaching program, and like you objectively look at it and you're like, oh yeah, it's really simple. Like you just like, you know, build a website funnel with ClickFunnels, and then you like put up a course with like some videos that you filmed on Loom, and it's like objectively you look at it and you're like, man, that's really simple, and it's totally not. And so people, like, a lot of the mistakes that I look at other companies, particularly in our space, is they follow this like cookie cutter approach, which is the exact opposite of what we did. Like we focused first thing on how can we give so much freaking value that like literally the modules came last. There wasn't even modules when we started the program. Like it was literally like hour-long calls, like live calls almost every day with you and clients. There was like 4 a week or something like that. And you would go 3 hours every single day during the middle of COVID. Like,
we did 7 one time. We did 7 hours.
It was, I mean, we just gave so much value in the beginning that we didn't start with like, oh, let's make $1 bajillion about this. It was like, oh my God, like so many people need help with this. Like let's like get this out there and just make a better life for people. And I look at other companies and they start from this place of profit, which is fine. Like, cause you're a business owner and an entrepreneur, like you need like profit is your oxygen. But like when that's your sole focus, once you get to a certain level of the business, like you're just going to stop moving forward. Like you're like, oh, like our goal was like 40K, you know, a month. And we like immediately surpassed that because there was such a demand for men of action. And if we would have stopped there, like we would have stopped helping so many people, like hundreds, like 100 to 200 people every single month. We changed their life. And that's fantastic. And we never could have got there if we had like, if we were just motivated by money. And that's what I see in a lot of companies right now. And they're just there for the money. They're not there for the people. And that's what I love about us is like the money is like secondary for us or even tertiary. Like we are solely focused on bringing the best results to people. And it shows from the sales team. Like you literally, like I'm going to call you out a little bit, but like you literally just like cried on a 2-hour call with somebody because they were in so much pain that you were like, dude, I'm going to help you no matter what. And if you were motivated by the money, like you just wouldn't have got there. You would have like ended the call. You would have hopped onto your other one. But like you instead felt so much emotion for this guy not like getting the results that he deserved that you stayed on super long, cried with him, and ended up getting him in the program. And he's like super happy.
Yeah, that happens like 3 times a week.
That's
not like just yesterday. So I'm saving guys out here.
So just so you guys know, in the field that we're in, a lot of times we're dealing with men over the age of 35 who are divorced, which is the #1 cohort on the planet for taking your own life. And this is a concept that it goes to a really dark place. He's come over to my, we live next door to each other. He'll come over and I can see that he's, you know, exhausted, emotionally exhausted because he's having to deal with this situation where it's like the hopelessness that they're bringing to you. And then we bring him into the program. It's one of the most gratifying parts of this job is that we do deal with a lot of men who are having thoughts like that. And they come through our program and we take them from despair to the happiest parts of their life, and they look back and they wonder why they were ever unhappy in the first place. And that's incredibly gratifying thing that we're able to do in this company. The other thing I want to bring up was a company culture. The first one, like you said, is correct. We don't take anyone's commissions. If we offer you a commission, you get that commission 100% of the time, and you get paid 100% of the time, on time, every time. Those were the first 2 rules we had, because for those of you who have been in this industry for a while, you will find out very quickly is that when all of a sudden the commissions are their money, they think it's when it's in their bank account, then the owner thinks it's his money and he pays you when he feels like it. We don't do that in this company.
Yeah, that's exactly exactly
we
the
pay
profit
ourselves
first thing
last.
that I was saying.
Yeah.
Like the owners were so motivated in our previous like places that they were so motivated by cash that they didn't even pay their employees.
They didn't pay us. Yeah.
And like when we hire people, like one of the hardest conversations that we have is like, how can we give them the most money?
Yeah.
You know, like how can we, like we talk about this all the time when we bring on somebody new, is like, we want people to succeed so much that it hurts to not pay out commissions.
Yeah,
you know, when they work hard for it. And you know, they didn't hit KPI or something like that. And it literally is painful because I want these people to succeed so much. And like the love that we have on the team for like everybody that's there, top down, for the clients, for the team members, like everybody is just so much love all around. And that's just like, it's one of my favorite parts of the company, that I just like, I don't know if it's replicatable anywhere else. Just like the amount of love that just permeates everywhere, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a specific thing I want to bring up, and I don't know if we should cut this out or not, but we had a glitch in the system one time where you guys paid out like extra commission to everybody. And I feel like most owners would be like, yo, give me that back, or like, I'm going to take that out of your next check or something like that. And you guys were like,
it's just a
keep
bonus.
it.
Yeah.
Keep it. It's a bonus for everybody.
Yeah. It's not profit first for us. It's just none of us are money motivated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you know, you're not going to build a great company if you're only money motivated. You got to find a different purpose and a different passion. And like, that's literally what I'm motivated by, is just building a great company and, you know, making great products and making transformation in people's lives.
The other thing that is different from us is that the cost of us producing a product is zero, because I will work my ass off and you don't pay me any extra for me building another product for you guys. The cost of my studio where I filmed the product was $800, and we did $6 million in revenue off that first product we did. A lot of people listening to this right now, you've already spent $80,000 on your first, you know, filming your first modules or whatever. We did it for $800. We built a product that did $6 million. That was another thing where when you start talking about mistakes that other people make, is this belief that everything has to be in 4K at 60 frames a second per. By the way, 4K at 60 frames a second is easy to do because you can do it on an iPhone now. But 10 years ago, that's what guys were trying to do. They needed everything to be edited like a perfect Casey Neistat, 12 minutes of perfection. And then we just came to the realization, it was like, no, let's just create as much content as we can. There's so many places where we don't go out and put out expenditures when they're not necessary. We are legitimately bootstrapping. Again, the first two sales guys in MoA were you two guys.
Right.
Before you guys moved to your own positions. The guys writing the code for the funnel was you. The guys,
still me
the guy
mostly.
paying the taxes is you. Like that's the same. And I do my own fulfillment. Like I do the fulfillment. I'm not. I don't have a secondary guy emceeing my calls and managing the fucking Zoom. I am managing the Zoom while I'm doing the calls for 9 hours a week. And so that's essentially the way that whole thing worked.